You awake to the sound of clanging metal echoing through stone corridors. Each morning is a step in your relentless march toward knighthood, a life bound by duty and expectation. As you struggle to lift the weighty cuirass over your shoulders, the reality of your chosen path settles over you like the armor you don, a comforting burden, a sign of honor. Training begins before the sun fully rises, the grounds alive with activity as knights and squires alike hone their skills. Around you, swords cut through the frosty air, each clash and cry a reminder of the life you aspire to lead. Yet beneath the surface lie unspoken challenges, the exhaustion that seeps into your bones with every passing day, and the quiet fear of failure that lingers in the shadows. These are the trials that make warriors of men, demanding grit beyond your years. You wake to the crisp, cold air of dawn in your stone keep, the hearth's faint warmth lingering as you prepare for another demanding day. The clanking of armor and the persuasive scent of boiled oats fill the dim corridors. In the distance, the gentle whir of a grindstone sharpening a sword breaks the silence. You stand shoulder to shoulder with your brothers in arms, your breath visible in the brisk morning as you fasten your cuirass and adjust your gauntlets, each piece a testament to your status and role in society. The training grounds, a flurry of noise and motion, pulsate with life as discipline and valor blend seamlessly. Knights, both veteran and novice, gather on these fields, a patchwork of churned earth and scattered straw, with determination. You charge through a rhythmic routine, your sword cutting the air with a whoosh, each thrust and parry guided by necessity and muscle memory. The clang of steel on steel punctuates your practice. Sparring partners circle one another, testing strength, speed, and strategy. These journeys stretch across miles, where the horse's rhythmic trotting beneath your armored form becomes a meditation. The countryside unfolds around you, a kaleidoscope of rolling hills, barns dotting the distance, the vibrant green fields giving way to dense patches of forest. You serve as the eyes and ears of your liege, ever watchful for marauding bands or rival factions. Each patrol instills a sense of purpose and repetition, your vigilance a barrier against the uncertainty that lurks in the formless shadows of the realm. Back in the keep, you move with deliberate intent, attending your lord with a keen sense of duty. In grand halls filled with the soft glow of torches, you stand guard, observing the rush of courtly life. Pages and squires dart to and fro, bustling with messages and tasks. Your presence is one of silent strength, a reassuring emblem of power and protection. You remain attuned to the murmured dealings of diplomacy, safeguarding your lord's interests, reading unspoken envoys and political games with an intuitive foresight refined over years. Not every day follows the calm monotony of routine. Tournaments punctuate the seasons, offering a stage to showcase your prowess. The excitement builds long before your shield meets a lance, as days of preparation lead to this moment. Crowd stands rise alongside tents, flags snapping in the wind, adding color to a scene of dust and sweat. You armor up, your coat of mail gleaming beneath the sun. The atmosphere trembles with anticipation, a shifting sea of peasants, merchants, and nobility watches as you don your helm and lead your powerful horse onto the meticulously groomed field. The joust, the crown jewel of the tournament, sees you spurred into thundering charges. There's elegance in this brutal dance as lances shatter upon shields, a calculated art where balance, accuracy, and bravery intertwine. Cheering erupts as combatants unseat one another, echoing across the plains, a chorus of appreciation for skill and valor. On days when combat is not sport, the rhythm shifts to that of skirmishes and warfare. The battlefield transforms from the controlled chaos of the training grounds to an opera of survival. Here, strategies honed through countless hours of practice unfold against opponents just as hungry for victory. The air thickens with the metallic tang of blood and sweat. The shouts of commanders weave into the symphony of clashing arms, images that burn themselves into your memory. Through woodlands and across rivers, you bridge your present with stories of old, tales of heroism, romanticized around firelit evenings with your comrades. You recount victories and losses, each story etched with lessons that shape your understanding of courage. These narratives tether you to the ideals of valor and honor, binding you to those beside you in a continuum of shared purpose. When dusk falls over the battlefield, you tend to the wounded, offering a different kind of strength. Your hands, roughened from years of gripping a sword, now bring solace to the fallen and the faltering. There is a shared silence in these moments, a recognition of mortality, of the limits that lie beyond even the sharpest blade. Throughout it all, this life of discipline and dedication leaves its mark. The cycle repeats, training, patrolling, attending, fighting, engraving itself on you, not just in bruises and scars, but in your very soul. The physical demands are unrelenting. Your armor presses down on your shoulders, the weight of iron, a daily burden. Countless marches and endless skirmishes grind away at you, carving away at your body and your will. But the mental strain is no lighter. Every move you make, every breath you take is shadowed by violence. Peace exists only in fragile pockets, thin as mist between storms. Even a life cultivated in honor cannot always shield you from the toll. Here rise the true challenges, the specter of injury, the pull of exhaustion, the crushing expectations behind every decision. War is relentless, and knighthood demands your unwavering presence. At its heart, you must craft this intricate ballet between duty and self, letting your principles guide you as much as the sword in your hand. In the quiet spaces between battles, in the stillness of campfires, or the hush of moonlit halls, questions begin to surface. Introspection creeps in, unbidden but necessary, whispering from the edge of your awareness. These truths follow you. They carry forward, growing heavier with time, shaping and challenging you as you tread this long and brutal path. Picture yourself in training. Your day begins at dawn, heralded by the ceaseless clang of steel against steel. This is no mere exercise. It's a brutal ritual, a rite that forges squires into warriors. Your armor, often exceeding 60 pounds, is both shield and burden. Its weight presses on every movement, forcing strength into your muscles and resilience into your spirit. To lift an arm, to take a step, each is an act of will. Now imagine charging on horseback with that same weight, speed, and power demanded in tandem with endurance. The demands are extreme. In the chaos of battle, injuries are not rare. They are expected. The clash of weapons is no exaggerated note. It's the overture to bruises, to blood, to broken bone. And still, you rise, because this is the life you've chosen. A life where honor walks hand in hand with sacrifice. Consider the types of wounds you endure. Jagged cuts from swords, the deep bruises from maces, and the sharp, piercing thrusts from lances. each weapon leaves its mark, raw, unforgiving, a testament to the violence embedded in the marrow of medieval life. But beyond the obvious, think of the strain your body carries each day. Wearing armor that weighs more than 60 pounds is not just a physical task, it is a burden that never truly lifts. Muscle strain, joints ache, and fatigue sets in long before the battle even begins. During training or skirmish, fractures are not uncommon. Exhaustion is constant. That weight of steel and expectation presses down on you always, a reminder that duty is never light. Yet the mental toll rivals even the heaviest steel. Picture yourself on the cusp of battle, your body still, but your mind a whirlwind. There are no certainties here, only the looming specter of death. You live every day, knowing that each battle might be your last. It's a truth that breeds pressure so immense it becomes a second kind of armor, one made not of iron, but of stress. Fear walks with you, not only the fear of death, but of failure. You live every day, knowing that each battle might be your last. It's a truth that breeds pressure so immense it becomes a second kind of armor, one made not of iron, but of stress. Fear walks with you, not only the fear of death, but of failure. For you, honor is paramount. It's a principle you hold above your own life, a code that demands unwavering courage in the face of terror, and absolute loyalty even when the cost is steep. Reconciling this code with the brutal, blood-soaked chaos of war requires strength of another kind. To survive, you forge coping mechanisms. You lean on your brothers in arms, knights who march and bleed beside you. Together, you share stories and silences, a bond welded in the crucible of combat. In them, you find solace, a quiet support amid the screams of battle. Sometimes you retreat inward. You find refuge in prayer, in meditation, in the quiet repetition of ritual. Other times you steel yourself, turning emotion into armor. Your face unreadable, your resolve absolute. Each of you finds your own way through the mental maze that knighthood constructs. Then there is loyalty. You swore fealty to your liege lord, and that oath is more than ceremony. It is a lifeline in a world of shifting sands and bloodied hands. Loyalty is your compass in the fog of war. But even that compass can waver, because loyalty sometimes demands sacrifice, not just of yourself, but of your companions. You are asked to make choices, to charge forward or fall back, to save a comrade or obey a command. Each decision ripples through the lives around you, reshaping friendships, alliances, and memories. You exist in a world of contradictions. There is the myth of the gallant knight, shining noble, serving virtue with unshakable grace. And then there is the truth, a truth of blood on your blade, pain in your bones, and grief behind your eyes. You're expected to embody both, to live the legend and survive the reality. Consider, too, the world in which you operate. This is no courtly paradise. It's a realm of scarcity. Food is fuel, not joy. Sleep is stolen when it can be. The comforts of life are distant luxuries. Routine becomes your lifeline. You train, you march, you fight. Discipline becomes a shield against chaos, and the rhythm of duty is the only rhythm you can rely on, and still you endure. Imagine the fortitude it takes, your endurance forged not just by heat and blade, but by choice. Each scar on your body speaks to a battle overcome, each bruise a badge of survival. The code is clear: honor above all, duty without fail. But you are still human. Imagine the fortitude it takes. Your endurance forged not just by heat and blade, but by choice. Each scar on your body speaks to a battle overcome, each bruise a badge of survival. The code is clear: honor above all, duty without fail. But you are still human. You know fear, you know doubt, and it is this very complexity, this tension between the sacred and the savage, that defines you. You are a warrior, forged of grit and grace, striving each day to live up to the impossible standards carved into the code you follow. And in doing so, you reveal not just strength, but soul. As you continue to walk the winding path of knighthood, remember this: your discipline does not falter. Even when the trials are relentless, when the weight on your shoulders feels too great, you hold firm to the codes that define your very being. Your life is an intricate dance, choreographed between two worlds: the myth of grandeur and the raw truth of sacrifice. And it is in that space, in that narrow gap between belief and reality, that the heart of knighthood lies. With the heavy cloak of chivalry resting across your shoulders, you must tread the line between what others believe you to be and who you actually are. You strive daily to reconcile the shining ideals of justice, courage, and loyalty with the bloody, exhausting, unforgiving demands of your reality. Knighthood does not merely ask, it insists. It urges you toward a life perched precariously between romantic legend and cold endurance. And you comply because you must, because your oath does not bend with the wind. You've already faced the toll, brutal injuries that test your endurance, the psychological weight of carrying your life in your hands each dawn. Yet what binds your world together is something deeper, a rigid, unshakable discipline. This commitment to duty is more than training with sword and shield. It is the architecture of your existence. It is the scaffolding that supports every moment of your day, from first light until the last embers of dusk. Your hours are consumed. Training that tests the limits of your body, weapon care that demands precision and patience, strategic drills that sharpen your mind like a finely honed blade. There is no part of your life untouched by the call of discipline. This routine does more than strengthen your muscles, it forges your resolve. You learn to be vigilant, always, to react swiftly, to remain composed under pressure, to act with honor even in the smallest of decisions. There is no comfort in your calling. The armor you wear is no longer a foreign weight, it is a second skin. The ringing of blades, your daily rhythm, the scent of sweat and steel, your constant companions. Perhaps you understand this better through the tale of Geoffrey de Lusignan. He was no legend born of song, but a man of brutal reality, renowned for his precision and unbending commitment to the chivalric code. He rejected comfort. He trained when others rested. He lived not for glory, but for principle. His nights were spent on cold earth, not in silken tents. The rhythm of his life was one of service, hard, unromantic, and absolute. His story reminds you that knighthood is not polished armor and fanfare. It is the grind, it is the sacrifice, and it is the unwavering resolve to do what is right, not what is easy. Your life mirrors this grind. You face the constant challenge of balancing personal allegiance with your duty to your liege. It's a fragile, shifting balance, often tilted by the pressures of politics and war. You might draw strength or caution from the legacy of Sir Thomas Malory. A knight himself, his life during the War of the Roses reveals the strain of serving ideals in a time of betrayal and shifting loyalties. He, too, struggled to uphold honor in a world unraveling at the seams, and in his writings you sense the same tension you know too well, the dissonance between what a knight should be and what the world forces him to become. Beyond the weight of armor, beyond the scars and ceremony, lies the truth. This life demands personal sacrifice. Yours is a world far removed from courtly tales and songs of valor. You persist because your code is more than tradition. It is your identity, and every dawn you rise, you reaffirm your place, not in fantasy, but in the steadfast march of those who came before you. You are a knight, not by the glitter of the myth, but by the grit of reality. You have faced solitude, long, unbroken stretches away from hearth and kin. Annual campaigns pulled you from the warmth of home, leaving behind children who grew without your watchful eye and loved ones who lived with only memory. Your reunions, when they came, were brief and bittersweet, interrupted by duty's unyielding call. Your sacrifices were never for glory alone. They were offered in the name of survival, of kingdoms, of people, of the ideals etched deep into your soul. Time and again, you chose your oath over comfort, carving hollow spaces in your personal life. You know the paradox well. Battlefield accolades cannot fill the silence of an empty home. Victory wears a different face when it comes at the cost of joy. In this crucible of conflict between expectation and experience, the truth of knighthood is laid bare. Romance may depict you as a figure draped in virtue, poised for quests and triumphs. But you understand the deeper truth. Your journey was never painted in strokes of constant triumph. It was built upon compromise, forged through doubt, and tested in the dark hours of lonely vigils and cold battlefields. Picture the eager squire you once were, eyes bright, dreams polished like a new blade. You imagined honor gleaming in sunlight, the weight of a sword as the crown of your destiny. But the rain-slicked mud, the aching cold, and the constant specter of death offered you a different education. Your armor, once a symbol of glory, became stained with dirt and wear. Your dreams, once romantic, were tempered into resilience. That is the transformation of a knight, not into a myth, but into something far more real. You rarely saw the feasts sung off in ballads. Instead, your meals were sparse, your shelter meager, your battles many. The weight of your armor wasn't only iron and leather. It was expectation, tradition, and duty, pressing down day after day. And yet, you endured, not because the path was easy, but because it mattered. Your grit, not your glamour, etched your place into history. You held the line when others faltered. You bore the codes of honor, even as the world around you threatened to unravel. You learned that knighthood was never about perfection. It was about humanity, navigating moral ambiguity, making hard choices, and still choosing the path of principle. Even in moments of personal loss and isolation, you remained bound to a code that allowed no easy exits. Your freedom was constrained, your choices narrow, yet you still defined honor on your own terms. This is your legacy, not the gleam of a polished helm, of the grandeur of a title, but the resolve to walk forward, regardless, to shape history, not with fanfare, but with steadfastness. When people look back upon your life, let them see more than the shining figure astride a warhorse. Let them see the man beneath the helm, It lives in that constant swing between grit and glory, and it is there, in the motion of that pendulum, that your true spirit resides. Having walked through the fires of expectation, pain, and principle, you've become more than a symbol. You've become a mirror, reflecting our own hopes and struggles, our own quiet battles. In knowing your path, we better understand our own, and like you, we seek to carry our burdens with courage, guided by honor, even when the world offers no applause.